All right, guys, just going to do a very quick review on our Keith Haring drawings here. If you have not finished transferring your picture to your relief image, you need to do that first, because I have not done that, excuse me. So I'm going to finish going over my lines here. That's going to transfer my image to my aluminum. Okay, when you're transferring, this is one of those times where if you made something a little too complicated to draw and it's taking a long time, you can simplify your plan. And the same goes vice versa. If you've done something and you're like, I want to make it a little bit more complex, you can do that. That's fine too. Okay, so I've got my image transferred. I'm going to take my tool here and go back over my lines. Remember, if you're doing this and it's not showing up for you, you need to ask yourself, do you have a piece of cardboard underneath? You need that cardboard. It's going to help to create like a cushion, so that way when you push, it has something to push against. Okay. Once you get this transferred over, then you're going to start making some areas raised and lowered. I know I showed you guys that a little bit last time, I think, here on the TV, how my knobs, are pushed in. Okay, if you want something to be pushed in on the front of it is where you're going to do your etching here. Okay, so like if I wanted the TV part here to be pushed in, I'm going to do that on the front here. This is where those times to make something look more exaggerated, this is why we do this. Because remember, a relief image has raised and lowered parts. So to just draw your lines is not enough. You need to do more than that. You are fifth graders. You need to push yourself beyond what you think you can do. Okay? So if you want something to be raised up, you'll flip your image over on the back, and that's where you will do that. Okay? By doing that, it's going to make your raised and lowered areas that much more extreme. Okay? Does that make sense? Hopefully. Okay. Once you've done that through your whole entire picture that you've done, that's where you're going to start coloring with Sharpie on your Keith Haring images, inspired images. Okay. Now, when you color, your person, just like Keith Haring did, is going to be a solid color. I'm going to try this, see if that'll help me on this big space here. So I've just turned the pointed part of my stick on its side, so I'm able to get that larger portion there. Okay, so in our Keith Haring relief images, just like Keith did, all of his people were solid colors. Okay, so when you go to color in your person, you are going to make your person be a solid color. Other than that, it's kind of up to you. You can choose to do solid colors on other parts of them. So when you color them, you can do solid parts on that. I'm going to show you one more thing. I'm going to do one more and then I'll be ready to kind of show you with the Sharpie. Okay. A lot of Keith Haring's had a black outline too for a lot of his things. If you want to do that, you can. You can use the black Sharpies to do that. You do not have to though. That is going to be one of those things that like our relief lines are going to help you achieve without actually carving it. Okay, so I've got that done. So each table is going to get a bowl of Sharpies. Please do not rotate them back and forth between tables. Each bowl should have 2 of every color. I had to resort them after another class. So yeah. So you're going to just take your Sharpie and you're going to color in your areas here. The Sharpie may take a minute or 2 to dry, so try not to rub over it, but once it dries, it's set on there. It won't come off, it won't rub off or anything like that. Okay. For the other areas of your relief image, it's kind of up to you. You can choose to leave the background without anything on them. But just like I showed you guys on my original examples with the aluminum foil, we added in designs and patterns and things around our Keith Haring pictures, trying to make our relief image as interesting and bright as possible, because even though Keith Haring was all about, you know, solid colors with his people, he had a lot of designs and patterns going on as well. So you can do that. As far as other things, it's kind of up to you what you choose. Okay. You don't have to do designs and patterns. You can do repeating action lines if you want. You can color things solid. Make them just as interesting as you can. Okay, I will say if you color on something that you've raised up, you may have to, once your Sharpie has dried, you may have to turn it back over and color and kind of carve back into it a little bit. Like I said, these Sharpies color quite well, so they're new this year. So if you just don't push really, really hard, you should probably be okay. Like this part right here, I had raised up, so I'm just gently coloring across it instead. Whoops, lost that one. Let's see here. When you get your picture colored with Sharpie and you're done, you may free draw, but here's the thing. If you are not using your free draw time wisely and you are disrupting a class or bothering neighbors that are trying to finish, then you may put your things away and sit with your head down or sit out in the hallway. This is your time to kind of show your creativity, not to goof off. So use your time wisely. Remember, you are welcome to get your sketchbooks as well. The more interesting you make your image, the more Keith Haring-like it will be. So don't rush through things. Take your time. Make something that you are going to be proud of to display, because once these are finished, we will hang them up out in the hallway for everyone to see your glorious, awesome artwork. Just because I'm thinking of this might come up too. The problem with the Sharpies is sometimes if you go back over it, it can pull off the color. So I'm going to give it a second here and let it kind of dry and see how it does, if we can. combat that problem. Some colors will definitely show up better than others. Let's see if I can do. So you can do like something, a solid color, and then do a pattern over the top of it. It may pull off your original color if it's still wet, but it seems to be doing okay if it's dry. Okay. You are welcome to go over your etched lines with the Sharpie too. Might help your images stand out a little bit better. Okay, so there's that. All right. When you are totally and completely done with your Keith Haring picture, okay, if you still have on your piece of paper here, pull that off, okay? This piece is yours to keep or put in the trash, your choice. You can color it too and take it home as well. But this right here, before you turn in, you need to take your pencil and put your name and class code on it. So, Miss Monty, be careful if you've got your hand over the top. If you've done something, it might not dry yet. And this is